Let's get right into it. Number 8. The zombie ants. Imagine you're an ant, just doing your ant thing, walking around the rainforest floor. Maybe you're carrying a leaf. Maybe you're following a trail of your buddies, until a tiny fungal spore lands on you. This fungus, called Ophiocordyceps, is already starting its takeover. It's like a tiny alien invasion, with microscopic spores drilling through your ant armor. Once inside, the fungus starts growing and spreading throughout your body. But it doesn't just infect you, it hijacks your body. Research shows the fungus doesn't actually take over the brain. Instead, it grows a network throughout your muscles, turning your body into a puppet while your brain is left a prisoner, unable to control your actions. About 4 to 10 days after infection, you start acting weird. You leave your colony, you start climbing up plants, and then, at a specific height, usually just a few dozen centimeters up, you do something totally bizarre. You bite down on the underside of a leaf with a death grip so strong your jaw muscles actually destroy themselves. While you're hanging there, paralyzed, the fungus starts growing out of your head. It sprouts right through your skull. This fungal stalk then releases spores onto the ants walking below, restarting its horrifying life cycle. This fungus is super precise about everything it does. It makes ants climb to a height where the temperature and humidity are perfect for fungal growth. It makes them bite leaves at exactly the right angle for maximum spore spreading, and there are over 200 different species of this zombie fungus. Each one specializes in a different kind of insect. No matter what kind of bug you are, there's probably a zombie fungus out there with your name on it. Number 7. The brain surgeon wasp. The emerald cockroach wasp performs brain surgery with its butt. This metallic green wasp doesn't just kill its prey, it turns cockroaches into living zombies. First, she stings the cockroach's chest, temporarily paralyzing its front legs. Then comes the real precision work. She sticks her stinger directly into the cockroach's brain twice. She hits exactly the right spots, areas smaller than a grain of sand. She's performing brain surgery with the precision of a microsurgeon, using her rear end. The venom she injects is a cocktail of mind-controlling chemicals. It turns the cockroach into a willing slave. The roach can still walk and eat, but when the wasp grabs its antennae and leads it like a dog on a leash, it just follows. The wasp leads her zombie roach to a burrow, lays an egg on it, and seals it inside. When the egg hatches, the wasp larva eats the still-living cockroach from the inside out. The roach stays alive and fresh this whole time, like a living pantry. The wasp has essentially hacked the roach's neural software. If she misses her target by even a fraction of a millimeter, the whole thing fails. Yet she nails it every time, with a brain smaller than a pinhead. Number 6. The cat-loving parasite. Meet Toxoplasma gondii, the tiny parasite that turns mice into suicidal cat lovers. This little parasite has one goal in life: to get from a mouse's body into a cat's stomach. Normally, mice are terrified of cats. They're hardwired to run away from even the smell of cat pee. But when this parasite infects a mouse's brain, something crazy happens. The mouse suddenly starts thinking cat pee smells attractive. The infected mice don't just lose their fear of cats. The parasite changes the mouse's brain chemistry. It makes them produce more dopamine when they smell cats. That's the same chemical your brain releases when you see pizza delivery at your door. So these mice are literally getting high on cat smell. This is the parasite's master plan. The only place this parasite can reproduce is inside a cat's gut, so it needs to get the mouse eaten by a cat. But this parasite isn't just controlling mice. It can infect humans too. About 1/3 of people worldwide have it in their brains right now. Studies have found correlations, not proven causation, between infection and changes in behavior, like increased risk-taking or a higher rate of car accidents. The science on how, or even if, it truly affects human behavior is still heavily debated, but it's a fascinating and slightly creepy possibility. Number 5. The crab body snatcher. The Saculina barnacle isn't your average barnacle. It's the body snatcher of the sea. A microscopic female, Saculina larva, finds a crab and injects herself through a weak spot in the crab's shell, usually at a joint in the leg. Once inside, she grows root-like tentacles throughout the crab's entire body. These tentacles wrap around the crab's nervous system, like tiny fingers around a puppet's strings. The parasite reaches the crab's brain and starts controlling its host's hormones. If the crab is female, the parasite forces her to take care of its eggs like they're her own. But if the crab is male, the parasite transforms him into a female. It changes his body shape, behavior, and hormones. The male develops a wider abdomen and starts performing motherly egg-carrying dances. the infected crab becomes a permanent babysitter for its parasite overlord. It stops molting, stops reproducing, and becomes completely devoted to caring for the parasite's offspring. The crab grooms and aerates the parasite's egg sac like it's the most precious thing in the world. When those eggs hatch, the crab releases them into the water with the same care a mother would show her own babies. Those baby parasites then go off to find new crabs to zombify, creating an endless army of mind-controlled nanny crabs. Number 4. The disco snail parasite. The disco parasite, Leucochloridium paradoxum, turns snails into zombie disco dancers. When a snail accidentally eats parasite eggs from bird droppings, the parasite launches its body-snatching mission. Inside the snail, it grows into long tubes throughout the snail's body. Then it reaches the eye stalks and turns them into pulsating disco sticks. These normally transparent stalks become bright green and brown, flashing 60 times per minute like a biological strobe light. But this isn't just a light show. The parasite is mimicking a caterpillar to attract birds. When a bird spots these pulsating eye stalks, it thinks it's found an easy meal. The parasite also hijacks the snail's brain, forcing it to crawl into the open during daylight. This is a death sentence for a creature that normally hides from the sun. The snail becomes a walking target, practically inviting birds to feast on its infected eye stalks. When a bird pecks off the eye stalks, it unknowingly eats the parasite too. Inside the bird, the parasite can finally reproduce and restart its cycle. The snail survives and grows new eye stalks, only for the remaining parasites to infect them again. Number 3. The caterpillar bodyguard service. A tiny wasp injects its eggs into a caterpillar along with a special virus. This virus starts messing with the caterpillar's brain, turning our leaf-munching friend into something straight out of a horror movie. The caterpillar stops eating, which is weird because eating is basically a caterpillar's whole personality. When the wasp larva burst out of the caterpillar, instead of dying, the caterpillar turns into a zombie bodyguard. It stands over the wasp cocoons like a mother bear protecting her cubs. Should a predator get too close, this zombie caterpillar will violently thrash around to scare them away. The caterpillar is protecting the very things that just burst out of its body. It's like if someone broke into your house, ate all your food, and then convinced you to stand guard while they took a nap. The caterpillar will keep protecting these cocoons until it starves to death. Scientists found that wasp cocoons protected by zombie caterpillars are twice as likely to survive as those without protection. Number 2. The spider's final project. Imagine you're a spider, just living your best life, spinning webs and catching bugs. Then a tiny wasp shows up and completely hijacks your existence. The wasp lays a tiny egg on the spider's abdomen. When the egg hatches, the larva starts eating the spider very slowly. But that's not even the worst part. The parasite injects chemicals into the spider's body that hack its brain. The spider, once an expert at building spiral webs, suddenly forgets everything it knows about web design. Instead, it starts building something completely different, a super reinforced cocoon web. This isn't your regular spider web. It's like the spider equivalent of Fort Knox. The web is specifically designed to protect the wasp larva while it develops. The spider uses its last bits of energy to build this fortress for its killer. Once the spider finishes building, the wasp larva finishes eating what's left of the spider. Then it moves into its new custom-built home to finish growing up. Scientists think the chemicals might be similar to the hormones spiders naturally produce when they're about to molt. It's like the wasp figured out the spider's password and is now sending fake work emails from the boss. Number 1. The fish flash mob. A tiny worm called Euhaplorchus californiensis infects California killifish and turns them into the world's worst synchronized swimmers. The parasite sneaks into the fish's brain and starts messing with its chemicals. It cranks up the fish's serotonin and dopamine levels, the same chemicals that make you feel good when you eat chocolate or fall in love. For these fish, it's like being at a rave that never ends. The infected fish start swimming in weird, jerky patterns near the surface. They flash their silvery bellies like they're auditioning for a show. But this isn't just some underwater dance party. The parasite is turning these fish into a living billboard that screams, "Eat me," to every bird flying overhead. Birds are the parasite's final destination. Scientists found that infected fish are 30 times more likely to get eaten by birds. It's like walking around with a free lunch sign strapped to your back. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.